The Floating Hag. I'm a woman in my late 20s. I used to be a confident person, but now I don't even recognise myself. I began working full-time as a carer a few years ago. I wanted to learn everything I could in order to start a career helping people. I needed to save money before enrolling in my courses, so this was a perfect fit for me. I used to work the day shifts, going to old people's homes and, well, looking after them. I enjoyed most of my work and enjoyed assisting everyone. But one day I was assigned to look after an elderly lady named Lillian, who freaked me out. I couldn't explain it, she just did. When I told my friends, they laughed and said that all old people were scary. When I thought about it, I began to agree, and Lillian was never mentioned to my friends again. As the time passed, I was doing my job, going into different people's homes and caring for them while conversing with them. Everything was the same every time I went into Lillian's house. The grandfather clock ticking away and the musty smell in the air, combined with a distant sulphur smell, made me sick every time. I tried several times to figure out where the smell was coming from, but I couldn't. Every time I went there, Lillian sat in the same chair, staring at her reflection in the mirror on the other side of the room and talking quietly to herself. I've tried talking to her several times, but she has never responded. I assume she did not like me. My co-workers, who see her during their shifts, say she is fine with them. This didn't bother me because, to be honest, I didn't care for her. The weirdest thing happened to me one night as I was sleeping. I awoke to a murmuring voice in my ear. When I stood up and turned on the side lamp, nobody was there. I went downstairs to get a hot drink because I was feeling uneasy. I felt a shiver run through my body as I returned to my bedroom and dropped my hot beverage to the floor. When I went to get a towel to wipe up the spill, the smell of sulphur began to overpower me as I was sweeping the bedroom carpet, reminding me of Lillian's home. Yet this was more potent and direct. I was so perplexed that I almost puked. I hurriedly raced to the window to open it. The stench vanished after some time and I started to feel exhausted. I was able to get some more rest. A low whispering sound from a distance and a creaking sound from close to my wardrobe woke me up while I was still asleep. The wardrobe door was open, I saw. On the opposite side of the room, I heard footsteps. When the footsteps started coming from the side, I completely awakened and turned to look, but no one was there. As soon as I heard my wardrobe door fully lock, I hurriedly moved my head to the opposite side of the room. I began to fear and realised that only my neck could move. As I tried to move, the smell of sulphur hit my nose and I was sick and in pain. A mumbling noise was getting closer to my ears, and the next thing I knew, I was face to face with a floating hag inches away from my face. I was so terrified that I just froze. She began to rise to my ceiling and say, "You're next!" loudly. I noticed it was Lillian before she vanished. After a few seconds, I was able to move my body again. I dashed to my phone, dialed 911 and washed my face and changed while waiting for the cops. When the cops arrived, I informed them that Lillian broke into my house and attacked me. The cops went round to Lillian's home and came back and told me that she had died. The following day, a detective came by to ask me questions about Lillian. For the next 24 hours, I was under investigation because Lillian was strangled. The investigation report later suggested that Lillian strangled herself to death. The detective had never encountered anything like this before. He had no idea how this was possible. I was so upset by everything that I quit my job right away, before my boss even had a chance to let me go. I started seeing a therapist and am now on medication because I wasn't sleeping, and every now and then I see a dark Lillian standing behind me in the mirror, and occasionally I can smell sulphur. I have no idea what's going on. All I know is that I'm exhausted. I don't recognise myself. I'm getting older by the day, and whenever I look in the mirror, this thing appears closer and closer behind me, looking like Lillian's dark form. You're next!
Thank you for listening today. Stay safe out there.
Join us
In the next video.
and don't get too spooked.